What's up? Welcome back to the Keep on the Firing Line Preaching Podcast. This is your host, Max Tidwell. I thank you for the support on the video yesterday. Today we will be diving back into the book of James, and we will be in James chapter number 1, verse number 9 through verse number 12. The Bible says in James chapter number 1, verse number 9, "Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low. Because as the flower of the grass, he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him." Yesterday we covered verses 1 through verse number 8, and we talked a little bit about the temptations, and we talked a little bit about things of life. But today we're going to be diving into verse number 9 through verse number 12. In verse number 9 it says, "Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted." Listen, friends, this morning it doesn't matter what we have monetarily in this life. It doesn't matter monetarily what we have here, because there we are exalted, right? We have a mansion. The Bible talks about streets of gold. It talks about mansions. It talks about our home. It talks about gates of pearl. It talks about walls of jasper. It talks about all sorts of different things. And so as we're living here on this life, yes, you can see this wall behind me. I'm in my home office today. This is not gold. This is drywall. And so I do not have the money to have a gold wall, but that's here. Their money doesn't matter, right? And so it says, "Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted." I wouldn't say that I am struggling for every meal, but I wouldn't say that I have enough money to go out and buy a new car today, right? And I believe that is how most of us would say we are. I believe most of Americans we are comfortable. We have what we need. Maybe we're living paycheck to paycheck, but none of us are hurting for our next meal, right? And I'm very thankful for that. But there's times in our life when we can get discouraged and we can say, well, this person's doing this or this person's doing that. God, why do I not have this? When we should just rejoice in knowing that we have a heavenly home. The day you got saved, you had a heavenly home. I say it all the time when I'm preaching, the day you got saved, God had a mansion ready for you and put your name on the mailbox, and your name was written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And so this morning, understand that no matter how much money you have, no matter what monetary goods you have, no matter what earthly possessions you have, understand this, it doesn't matter what we have here, because all of this is temporary, right? It says in verse number 10, "But the rich, in that he is made low, because of the flower of the grass, he shall pass away." We see here in Florida, we see our grass, what it tends to do during the summer is it tends to die out pretty quickly because of all the sun that we have. But if you look in somewhere like where I'm from in Tennessee, when the winter time comes and that cold air hits the grass, it begins to turn brown and begin to molder and begin to wither away. And that's because it's dying out, right? And the Bible is saying right here, "But the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of grass, he shall pass away." We see people put their trust in earthly possessions. We see people put all of their happiness in earthly possessions, in money. I'll say this: money alone is not bad. Money is a great thing. We all need money to survive. If you've ever walked into Walmart and tried to walk out without using your money, you either need to go talk to the Lord because you've stolen something, or you had a security guard follow you out and you might have a warrant out for your arrest, and you should probably figure that out. But this morning, understand that we do have to have money. Money makes the world go round, right? We do have to have money in order to purchase things. I have to have money to go put gas in my car, to buy diapers for my children, to buy food for my family, to buy things at Walmart, whatever the case may be. We have to have money. And so don't think, oh, I can't have money because I'm a Christian. I can't have any money. I have to be poor and live off what the Lord provides out in the yard. Like, no, that's not how we are, right? We're not so foolish to think that we can't use money as a Christian, right? But what it's saying is that we see later on that the love of money is the root of all evil, right? So the money alone is not the problem. It's the love of the money. But then it talks about how just as the flower of the grass, he shall pass away. It's telling those people who do put their trust in financial gain, who do put their trust in monetary goods, who do put their trust in maybe it's a thing a possession that they own, who do put their trust in their business, and they trust more in that than they trust in the Lord. It's saying don't do that because it's going to pass away just like you are one day. Not every business is going to be open until the end of time. Money is going to pass away. They're already in America trying to do away with cash. And so what's going to happen to all the cash that people have when they do away with cash? We don't know, right? And so it's saying just as the flower of the grass, everything is going to pass away. These are all earthly possessions. These are temporal things. And so we have our home in heaven. Why are we so worried about the temporal things here? Then verse number 11, it says, for the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, we just talked about that a minute ago, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth, so also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. And we just talked about that. I got a little ahead of myself, but we just talked about that. It just like the sun rises and it burns up the flowers and it burns up the grass, or the cold front comes through and it kills all the flowers. My grandmother is always, every time a cold front comes through, she's covering up her flowers with blankets. And the reason she does that is because if the frost gets on her plants, it's going to kill them, right? And so we should do that with our Christian life. We should try to protect our Christian life and protect our relationship with the Lord just like that. We should throw a blanket over it and make sure the devil can't get to it, make sure people can't get to it, right? Make sure worry can't get to it, untrust can't get to it. And understand that everything that happens here on this earth is temporal. It is all going to pass away. This earth is going to burn up one day. It's going to be gone one day, never to be remembered. You won't even, if you're going to heaven, if you're saved by God's grace this morning, you're going to go to heaven one day. And when you get there, you're not going to remember this place. You're not going to remember what you had or what you didn't have. You're not going to be up in heaven wishing you could come back down here and go back to your house. You're not going to get up in heaven and wish you could come back down and drive in your car one more time or go see your bank account one more time. Or no, you're not going to remember any of this. This is all temporal. And so what the Bible is trying to tell us is don't put too much faith in what's going on here, because our life is just beginning. What our real life is in heaven. The Bible says a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years. And so we're talking, I'm 23 years old. We're talking a day with the Lord is 1,000 years. To the Lord, I've been alive about that much. You take a breath and it's like a year in heaven. And so as we're talking about this, understand that your position here on earth does not matter. Your finances do not matter here. Yes, you need finances to get along. I'm not saying just go out and eat locusts and grass. If you want to do that, you have fun. But I'm not saying that this morning. What I am saying is don't worry about those things, because if we put too much hope in what's going on here, we'll forget about the blessings that are coming there. And verse number 12 talks about that. It says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Back up to verse number 2, we talked about this yesterday. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations. That's talking about temptations. That's talking about trials. And it's verse number 12 goes hand in hand with it. It's not saying, it says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation. It's not saying when a temptation or a trial comes, rejoice. It's saying, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, because it's going to come. There's not a question mark on if we're going to be tempted or if we're going to have trials. I've seen Christians and non-Christians have trials of life, right? Believers and non-believers have trials in life. But I'd much rather go through the trials of this life with the Lord than without him, right? I've gone through many trials. I've been saved for 4 years. I'm 23 years old. I've gone through some things, and I'm here to tell you today, obviously I've lived through all of them. Obviously I'm not hurting. I'm not missing much, right? Maybe you're dealing with a health concern or something like that this morning. Understand that that's temporal. Maybe you've got cancer. Maybe you've got something where it's a pain in your body that you don't know if it's ever going to be healed. Well, friend, I'm here to encourage you. Thankfully, we serve the God who can touch you right now, and he can heal you. But if you are to die, that's not going to carry over into eternity. That cancer is going to stay here. That hurting in your body is going to stay here, right? You will be getting out of this one day. Everything on this earth is temporal, no matter what it is. But it says, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. I'm thankful this morning that we're rewarded. We are rewarded in heaven. We see 5 different crowns that we're able to get through. Maybe I'll do a study on that here one day. But this isn't specifically talking about the crown of life. When you're resisting temptation, it says, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life. When you push through trials and you push through temptation and you push through those things, God has got a crown waiting for you up in heaven one day. And so we have to stop putting all of our hope, all of our glory, everything that we have into this earth. The Bible says that why would we put our, and I'm paraphrasing here big time, why would we put our hope in things here that the robbers can break through and steal and that the moths can come through and corrupt? But why could we not put our riches in heaven where they can't break through and steal and moth and dust doesn't corrupt, right? And so here everything is temporal. Everything is temporal, friends. But if we remember that everything is temporal here and focus on what's there, then we'll be all right. This morning, we've exceeded our time just a little bit this morning, but I've had a great time with you this morning. Today, this has been the Keep on the Firing Line Preaching Podcast with your host, Max Tidwell. Remember, preachers preach the word, believers share the cross, and together, let's reach the world. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.